Well, good evening. How's everybody doing this evening? I just thought I'd just come on today and say hello, see how everyone is doing. Um, I just came on today just to just talk because I just felt like talking. So today I just came on to introduce myself again. I am Rochelle. Everyone calls me Shelly. Um, I'm 61. I turned 61 in March of this year, and I am starting all over. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm in Michigan. I've been here 1 year. It was 1 year in April. I had been living in right outside of Tampa, Florida, in Apollo Beach. Um, for the last 20 years, I've been in Florida. So yeah, I was married. Um, my husband, actually, he wasn't actually my husband. He was my ex-husband. I still say my husband because we were still together. Not together, but we were still living in the same house because he had got very, very sick. So he passed away in 2023. But like I said, after the divorce, he had got really, really, really sick and he had nobody else to take care of him. So I moved him out of his place into my place. I had been doing that for maybe a couple years, so that might have been in 2021, 22, 23. And yeah, and so in 2023, he passed away, not at the house, but he passed away in the hospital. He had been really, really sick, and those 2 years had been very difficult for me. Um, I mean, we were divorced, but it wasn't like it was a nasty divorce. We were still like really good friends. Matter of fact, we were probably better friends not married than we were married. So it wasn't nothing, like any malice or anything like really bad between us. We just didn't make it together, but we were still friends. Um, so anyway, yeah, he passed away. Um, Complications to diabetes and congestive heart failure in 2023. So after he passed away, I was really, it was really bad for me. And, I was in therapy. I took time off of work. Um, and then I decided to, move out of that place because it was just a lot of I just wanted to move. So I moved out of that place and found me another place that was absolutely gorgeous. Love, love, love my one bedroom that I found. I was going through therapy. Still, eventually went back to work. And then I met a female, and we became, at least I thought we became friends. Because at that time, I really, I had a few people that I talked to, but not many. And she was going through a very difficult time. I mean, I can't do nothing but go by, the things that she, was telling me that was going on. Some things I could see for myself. Some things I just went off of what she said. Um, so she was she had moved out from with her husband, but all of her stuff was still at the house. I don't know. It was just a big mess. But anyway, eventually I helped her move all of that stuff out. I moved out of my one bedroom and moved into a two bedroom. And we started to split the rent. I moved into a two bedroom, two bath in the same complex. And we began to split the rent, which, was good for me because, as anybody know, Florida is very expensive. So that one bedroom I was in was about 1900. So I had been in that one bedroom before I moved out to the two bedroom only about 3 months. So they let me move to it out of the one into a two bedroom, which was about 2,400. It was about 2,400, maybe 25. But anyway, we were splitting the rent, and I thought everything was fine because at that point I work a lot. I ain't gonna say I work a lot. Well, I was, because I was working 2 jobs, put it that way. One was from home and one I was going into work. And yeah, one was I work at home and one I was going into work. And I wasn't, really dating anyone or anything like that. I was tired. I go to work, get off of work, take my shower, watch some TV, go to bed and repeat. So anyway, it was just kind of like a big mess. She moved out without telling me. For what reason, I have no idea. I had got a garage, and I had a lot of her stuff that we had moved out of the house was in that garage, which had some of my stuff in it and all of my husband's stuff in it. The late husband. It had a lot of his stuff in it. So, her going in and out the garage really wasn't a big thing to me. I just didn't think about it. But anyway, a lot of his stuff was gone. A lot of my late husband stuff. When I got ready to move out of my stuff out of that garage, most of his stuff was gone. It wasn't there. So, she had been moving her stuff. We kept our bedroom doors closed. If I wasn't there when I leave, I close the door. When she leaves, she'll close her door. It wasn't no big thing to me. I didn't think anything of it. Until, you stand with somebody and they kind of start acting a little weird, a little funny. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's me, because I know, hey, I'm going through some things, I'm working through some things. I'm in therapy, but if I didn't tell you I was working through some things, how if people really don't know what you're going through, that was me. So, a couple months had went past, and something just told me, no. Like I had a full size washing machine and dryer. You open it up, and it was a bunch of shelves that was up above the washing machine and dryer that we use for storage. And it was mostly like kitchen stuff, like stuff because, she had a lot of stuff. I had a lot of stuff. She had a lot of new stuff. I had a lot of new stuff. So stuff that was in boxes was all stacked up on those shelves above the washing machine and dryer. One day I just so happened to be doing laundry, and I kind of looked up and I was looking on the shelves, and I was like, something looked different about these shelves. So once I started really looking through, I realized that the stuff that was up there on that shelves was only my stuff. And, it had kind of been moved around and spread it out. And I'm like, I knew it was way more stuff than that up there. So I'm looking, I'm like, okay, it's only my stuff. So some told me just to open her bedroom door. Her whole bedroom set was gone. So I'm not even sure, like, when she moved, she was still coming in and out of the house. And I worked nights, and she worked days. So when I came in, I never opened the bedroom door. I never opened the bathroom door. She had her own bathroom. I had my own bathroom. So her bedroom and bathroom door would be shut. My bathroom was inside of my bedroom. So then I opened the bathroom door, and I, started pulling open drawers, and I realized, half of the drawers was empty, and her whole bedroom set was gone out of the bedroom. So I'm like, really? So mind you, I moved out of my 1-bedroom into this 2-bedroom, which was almost about $2,500. I'm like, and I guess I was trying to understand, like, even if she wanted to move, you're not gonna say nothing. You're not gonna try talking to me. Like, it's not like we got into it about nothing or we argued about nothing. We barely seen each other. So, I still don't know. I just gave this whole situation to God. This is my first time even talking about it. Because at that point, I was a little distraught. Like, okay, what's really going on? I don't move out of this 1-bedroom into this 2-bedroom, and now I got to go back over these people asking I move out of this 2-bedroom. I paid a lot of money to move in my 1-bedroom, paid a lot of money to move out of my 1 bedroom into the 2 bedroom, which was different buildings. So I had to literally pack all my stuff back up and basically get a truck to move my stuff from one building to the other. So now I'm in this. So anyway, to make a long story short, it wasn't nothing nice. I was like, what's going on? And she was like, well, I was going to talk to you, this, that, and the other. You was going to talk to me. All your stuff is gone. You did all this stuff while I wasn't here. Like, that's a little sneaky to me. But it is. She was older than me. I'm 61. So she was a couple years older than me. So, I mean, you know what? It is what it is. I had just lost him. And I think it had not even been a full year. Or it could have been right at the year mark. And then I went through this. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. So anyway, she ended up, I was there. I made sure while I was there, she got the rest of her stuff, leave, get out, bye, I see you, changed all, because everything was we didn't have keys. Everything was fingerprint and key, the little key thing you put up to it was tabs for every little thing. I don't forget what you call it, but so anyway, I went over to the office. I had them change all of that. And then I just kind of sat there for a minute, just like, so for about 2 months, I was coming up with this money, paying this $2,500, I got my car note. Matter of fact, I got 2 cars with 2 car notes. So I had 2 car notes, paying insurance, paying this $2,500, all of the utilities, paying the cell phone bill, So then I had another friend that needed a place to stay, which I was really, really leery after what I just went through. But this is somebody I had known for some years, considering this other person I had only known for some months, which, when I think about it now, that was kind of retarded. But that's the way, wear my heart on my sleeve. So, trying to look out. That's what I call myself doing, helping out, looking out, it'd be helping both of us, we could split the rent, this, that, and the other, I thought everything was good, but obviously it wasn't. So anyway, no biggie. Well, yeah, it kind of was a biggie, but it was what it was. So a couple months had went past. And so, because I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to move. At this point, I was thinking about just moving out of Florida. Like, at this point, I was feeling like it was a lot. I just wanted to change. So I was going to relocate to Houston, which I have friends and family in Houston. And yeah, I was going to relocate to Houston. I was going to quit my job, have my other job, transfer to Houston, and just start all over in Houston until okay, let me go back. After she moved out, another friend of mine moved in, and it was only 2 or 3 more months left on the rent. 2 or 3 more months left on the rent. So we just stayed there and just paid the rent until the lease was up. So once the lease was up, I put all my stuff in storage. I sold a lot of my stuff. Was having garage sales, had stuff on Marketplace, sold a lot of my stuff, and the rest of it I put in storage. And I was going to go to Houston until I talked with my son, and he was like, well, Mom, why don't you, you got a lot going on. Why don't you just come back to Michigan for a while, spend some time with the grandkids, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I had to go to my job because I was set to go to Houston. Tell them I had some stuff going on in Michigan. I need to go back to Michigan. Can y'all switch me from Houston to Michigan? Which they did. That's how I ended up where I'm at right now. But the one thing I told my son was, I said, if I come back, I'm staying with you because we do have properties here and Airbnb. So I could have easily moved in, came back and moved into one of the houses or whatever. But I just didn't want to be by myself. I mean, when I told him that, it wasn't no big deal. He was like, that's fine. So, and that's where I'm at right now. And all of my stuff is still in Florida. For a year, I've been paying storage. All of my stuff is still in Florida. I was trying to make sure this was it too. So it's been a year. Storage $400 a month. You do the math. So, anyway, I've been paying that. I've been here, which has been great. I mean, you know, I got 2 grandkids, if you don't know, 6 and 10. So I've been spending a lot of time with them. Um, yeah, so it's been okay, except for the winters. You looked at any of my other videos, you would know the winter was brutal. That was brutal. Like, that ain't nothing I'm trying to get used to. I enjoy myself here because when I used to come back, I came back during the winter sometime. But I'm, you know, I'm in Florida. I'm in and out. You know, I'm here for 3 days, 2 days, sometimes 4 days, sometimes 4 days. So I'm just, it's kind of like an in and out thing. So it didn't really bother me because I can remember being here, coming here and for, you know, and be here for a few days. Sorry, y'all. I'm hungry. Pistachios. Being here for a few days and be ready to go. End up moving here. It was just a lot weighing on me though. And I was still in therapy. And I've been here a year. Been around like I said, been around my grandkids. It's been wonderful. But I'm still trying to figure out my life. So I actually resigned from my job. I resigned from my job. This is my job with my bread and butter job. And I had a second job. That second job is the job that I transferred here. Which, you know, that's not a lot of money compared to, definitely not a lot of money compared to what I was making. So, yeah, I transferred my second job here. I actually resigned from my first job. Like, they couldn't believe it. It was like, you quitting? Like, are you serious? But yeah, so I resigned. I stepped out on faith. I gave it to God and I resigned. And it's funny because when I talk to, like, over the last year, I talked to people, it's a lot of people, like older people, that when I talk to them about, they want to do the same thing. You know, sometimes you just got to step out on faith and do what you got to do. You know, that job was a lot on me. It was good money. Trust and believe me, it was good money. But it was a lot on me. It was taking a toll on my health. My doctors in Florida had told me 10 years ago, you need to find another profession. So I finally I didn't even tell nobody. I just resigned and gave my second job a date that I was leaving, and which was April 7th. Yeah, and I left. As a matter of fact, I didn't even tell a lot of people that I was leaving. Like, when I moved to Florida, I didn't tell a lot of people. I was in Florida by the time people found out I moved to Florida, which was 20 years ago. But some stuff is just left unsaid, and some stuff you don't be wanting to hear what other people have to say. Like, I didn't, you know, when I moved to Florida, I didn't want to hear people, you moving with the hurricanes, da-da-da-da-da. I didn't want to hear that. And when I left, like, you moving to the cold, it's freezing in Michigan. You gonna move there, and what's there? Michigan, Detroit, that I didn't want to hear all of that. So I just left it where it was. And sometimes you have to do that. Anybody here that's thinking about resigning or moving, or I literally really want to just travel. That's my passion. My passion is traveling. And when I left, that's when I got here, that was on my mind, where I got to figure this out. And that's what I've been doing. I say the first 6 months, I just kind of was relaxing, just trying to take in that I'm actually back here in Michigan. I resigned and I transferred my second job, and I'm back here in Michigan. So I've been here a year. And like I said, it's been okay. You know, the winter was a little brutal for me. You know, I enjoy being around my grandkids, you know, spending a lot of time with them. And my oldest grandson actually told me, Grammy, I like it better when you was in Florida, because they used to come down and see me, and they like coming to Florida. So, you know, we used to be at the parks and, you know, doing different things, the beach, the pool, everything. So they told me they miss me being there, because they used to like to come down there. But, so yeah, you're going to see me kind of looking down, because I kind of took some little notes, because I'll be all over the place. I'm probably all over the place now, because I haven't really been looking at the notes. So, Anybody else going through loss or grief? It's deep. You know, people grieve, and everybody grieve differently. And with mine, I just feel like this last year, God has had me in solitude, isolation. At first I was like, really, like, what's going on? Like, I just been in solitude and isolation. I haven't been around anyone, truly. And like talking on the phone or anything like that, I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that. And I know that God is preparing me for what he has in store for me. I know this without the shadow of a doubt. But at first I was like, okay, like what's going on? You know, some people might have thought, I was acting funny or this, that, and the other. I wasn't. I mean, I'm just being led right now. So that's what I'm doing. I'm being led, and I'm paying more attention, and I'm aware, discernment, and all of that. So, yeah. So still in therapy. And that's going pretty good. But I feel a lot. I do feel a lot better. You know, some days I have my ups and my downs. Um, yeah. Some days I have my ups and the downs. Anybody else that's going through grief or loss, or I would like to hear about, your story. Um, if you want to put it in the comments, or what you're doing, or anybody thinking about relocating, that anybody that's starting all over like me, or that's older. I would like to hear your story. So, my thing is, like I said, I just feel like I've been in isolation and solitude. And I just stopped absorbing other people's issues and problems. I stopped doing that because that's something that I used to do. Sorry, y'all, it's my other phone. But, absorb other people's issues and problems. Like, I used to just take them in like they were mine. And like I would start thinking like they were mine and trying to figure things out. I have my own stuff to figure out, and I'm figuring out everybody else's stuff. So that's another thing that I stopped doing. So yeah, before I moved to Michigan, once I moved out of my apartment, I started staying with a friend / coworker, and I did that for 2 months up until I moved to Michigan. I still was working. But the lease was up on the apartment. So I ended up, when I moved out of the apartment, put my stuff in storage, and I moved with a friend, coworker, for about 2 months. And that was okay. I was a little uncomfortable because she had her whole family. She got her family there. She's not married. She wasn't married or anything, but kids, and I'm used to having my own. Put it that way, I'm used to having my own, but I thanked her so much. I really appreciate for her letting me stay with her those 2 months. So I stayed with her for 2 months, went to work, resigned, and then I left and I came to Michigan. And yeah, so I'm just trying to figure this thing out, y'all. Like I truly, I got some medical issues as far as my back. I was in a really bad car accident, which was some years ago, but my back has always bothered me on and off, but it has never bothered me like it's bothering me now. And I don't know, it could be, because I'm older now, but I got herniated discs in my neck and in my back. I got a little bit of arthritis. I just got some stuff going on with my back. So, and I've had 2 procedures on my back, and I'm having a procedure this week on my back. Matter of fact, tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, I'm having a procedure tomorrow on my back. So I'm trying to get my back in some type of condition. Because you need your back now. I need my back. But, yeah, like I said, I really want to travel. So, that's a passion of mine. That's really a passion of mine. The first places I want to go is to Europe. I want to go to South Asia. Um, yeah, and it's still some of the Caribbean I want to see too, but mainly South Asia and Europe. I really want to travel to some destinations. I have some, and there's even some places in the States that I've never been to that I want to go to. I got a book that over the year that I've been writing in. That's, you might as well say, it's my bucket list. It's my bucket list on different places where I want to go. And, I joined some communities because I'm trying to, find out. Because eventually, really, I wouldn't mind relocating out of the United States. That's really what's behind everything. But, I have to travel and visit some places to even see where it is that I really want to go. But I really wouldn't mind moving abroad. I really wouldn't mind moving abroad. Anybody that know me know I love to cruise. So I do cruise, a lot. I love to go on cruises. And, some people like, I only can do it 2 or 3 days. I can go on a cruise for a month. It wouldn't bother me a bit. I went on a 2-week cruise and I freaking love it. I don't know, I'm a Pisces, so I love the water. I love being on the water and I sleep so good on the cruise. Oh my God, I sleep so good on the cruise. But yeah, anybody that's out there that's, up in age, that's thinking about, resigning or have already resigned, collecting Social Security, thinking about traveling, going through loss or grief or anything like that, yeah, put it in the comments. I want to hear from you. So that's what we on here talking about. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just felt like I wanted to talk about it. Like I said, I never really even told anybody this situation except for a couple people that was very close to me. Other than that, I never talked to nobody about the situation. But hey, I'm just here in Michigan making it do what it do. Finally it's getting warm, but I mean we still have some cool nights. And lately, I mean, just a few days ago, it was cool during the day. It only got in the 60s. So, but that's Michigan. So I just don't remember it being like this when I was younger. So things have really changed, but Michigan has come a long way. Detroit has come a long way. I see a lot of improvement from when I left. Like it's a lot of things it's a lot of things here that I want to see. Because literally since I've been here, I haven't really been anywhere. I haven't really been out anywhere. So it's a lot of places, even like all downtown Detroit is beautiful. I want to go down there. It's a lot of places I want to visit. It's museums, the Art Institute. It's the old train station that I forget the name of it. But anyway, they turned that into this big woo-la that's supposed to be really, really nice. We got the river. I think it's the River Walk where you can look across over into Canada, and it's a whole vibe down there. And I haven't been in no concerts. I haven't really been doing anything. I'm just not coming really out of this, like I said, solitude and isolation state. And yeah, I mean, we just going through a shift. It's a shift that's going on. If you know, you know. And I know it's a shift that's going on. So I know that I am going through something. I know that it's not bad. But, I just have to be aware and pay attention. So I pay attention. The universe, I pay attention. The universe definitely has my attention. So anyway, guys, I don't want to hold you up. I said I was only going to be on here for about 15 to 20 minutes. And so far, it's probably been about 15 minutes that I've been on, something like that. So I just wanted to say, y'all see these lines up here? I got the shades. It's closed, but it's coming through the shade. But anyway, I just wanted to just come on and talk for a little while today, see how everybody was doing. And you guys have a great rest of your evening. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It will really help my channel. I'm new. I'm just not starting. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.